Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
And welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Alice Estes.
And I'm Ethan Clements. Thank you for joining us tonight.
As the Trump administration's sweeping immigration reforms are imposed, Auburn finds itself the most recent college campus to feel the effects. Last Friday, the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement revoked the visas of 15 members of the Auburn community. At this time, the names of the individuals have not been released for the security of the students. In a statement, Jennifer Adams, Auburn University Executive Director of Public Affairs, said that the university is aware of the situation and that the Office of International Programs has reached out to each of the individuals affected. The university is encouraging any international students to contact the Office of International Programs if they have any questions or concerns. Adams also noted that the university had no power in revoking the visas, that the decision was entirely the government's. This situation comes following the detainment of Ali Reza Dorodi, an international student at the University of Alabama last month. This remains a developing story, so check back later for an update on this situation from Eagle Eye News.
Earlier this month, President Donald Trump imposed tariffs across all countries in an attempt to push domestic production, a move that comes just after Trump declared April 2nd as Liberation Day. Eagle Eye reporter Sophie Porter tells us how these tariffs affect Americans nationwide and right here on our campus.
Tariffs might sound like something that only affects big businesses or international politics, but the latest moves by the Trump administration could hit closer to home than you think. From the cost of laptops to everyday essentials, college students could start feeling the impact in unexpected ways.
Just days ago, a new wave of tariffs on global imports took effect, and they are already stirring concern across industries, markets, and even college campuses. These tariffs introduced by President Donald Trump mark a major shift in the way the U.S. is handling trade. There is now a 10% tariff rate on all imported goods coming into the country, but when it comes to imports from China, that number increases to 145%. I spoke with economics professor Henry Thompson for more information regarding exactly what tariffs are and how they could affect college students.
Tariffs are taxes on consumer goods. They're taxes on producer goods, too, that producers buy to make other stuff. It's a tax when it crosses the border, and it has to be paid by the whoever imports the product. Of course, the foreign firm gets hurt, and so do the domestic consumers. What it does is raise the price of imported products inside the country. So the real problem with tariffs is that it lowers, not only raises prices, but lowers wages and income in the long run. That's a sort of a 10 or 20 year horizon, and that's the college student horizon.
I also spoke to students on campus about their opinions on these tariffs and how they expect them to impact their daily life.
I think it's very confusing to keep up with how many tariffs there are and which ones are actually being used, because it feels like every time a tariff is announced, it's immediately revoked or changed. And even though the tariffs aren't even in place yet, we're already feeling the effects. I have a bunch of money in stock markets. I already set up a Roth IRA for my retirement account. And over the course of 2 days, I dropped $2,000, and the tariffs haven't even been implemented yet.
I am not that informed of the situation. I do hear it's pretty complicated and maybe a bit complex. I think the idea is that the market will improve over time. Some people disagree, some people agree. I heard a dude talking about it in my class. That's about all I know. But I do know that right now I'm probably going to go study it myself and form my own opinion.
For Eagle Eye News, I'm Sophie Porter.
On April 11th, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection posted a notice that electronics imported to the United States would be exempt from President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. The exemption includes smartphones, computer monitors, and various electronic parts entering the U.S.
Last Thursday, the French Club and the Caribbean Student Association hosted a Haitian night with a presentation to honor International Francophone Day. Here's the story.
This past Thursday, April 17th, Auburn students got the opportunity to experience and celebrate a culture of the Caribbean without leaving campus through the French Club and Caribbean Student Association's joint Haitian night. The event, which took place from 6 to 8 in the Melton Student Center, was put on collaboratively by both Auburn's French Club and CSA, and was months in the making. French Club President Henry Limbo discussed what went into making this night happen.
We've been putting this event together. We've been working with the Caribbean Student Association for about 3 months. It's taken a lot of just communication and time working with both our advisors and each other to kind of get the menu set for the food, get some of the events organized as well, and get everything ordered.
The menu, which included several classic Haitian dishes such as Haitian orange cake, soup jumu, Haitian mac and cheese, and fried pork, was just one example of the way these two clubs collaborated to put this night together. The night also included a presentation about Haitian culture and history, as well as arts and crafts and an exciting tournament of Haitian dominoes. CSA member Nayla Anayus discussed what this night meant to her.
I am Haitian, and so I really love my culture. I really wanted to spread my culture with everybody and share my culture with everybody. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of dedication, but I just wanted everybody to experience the Haitian culture and bring everybody together for this one night to celebrate the culture of Haiti.
Anayus also discussed how events such as this one between two clubs can be beneficial for the club members and the Auburn family as a whole.
I think it's beneficial to see if we can actually work together without, a fight or whatever. It's important for us to not be scared of each other and to branch out and to see, I have this idea, I have this idea, and to put it together and create this event right now.
I'm Alice Estes, Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Pebble Hill, a historic site right here in Auburn, Alabama, is most known for its connection to the university's College of Liberal Arts, serving as the home for the Caroline Marshall Drawn Center for the Arts and Humanities. But what most people don't know is Pebble Hill's connection with the history of slavery in Alabama. Eagle Eye reporter Morgan Sims brings us the story.
Auburn University is deeply connected with the history of slavery in Alabama, and what you may not know is there's a plantation that still stands in our community. Pebble Hill, an antebellum cottage built in 1847 and was once the home of Colonial Nathaniel J. Scott and later Mary K. Scott. But it wasn't just a cottage.
The property was definitely a plantation property, and according to the 1850 census and the 1860 census, slave census, Nathaniel Scott owned many slaves.
As in many, that's up to 60 enslaved Africans who helped build the Pebble Hill structure but also participated in hard labor. This includes farming, pottery making, construction, and craftsmanship for no pay. A descendant of enslaved ancestors, Carolyn Bickerstaff, has a close tie to Pebble Hill.
I'm reminded of how close slavery is in my family because Pebble Hill still stands. Three greats ago, I had a Grandma Betsy who was a slave, who had a husband, but her husband wasn't on the same plantation with her.
But the history isn't only limited to those of African descent.
The house is a window onto the stories of Creek Indians and the story of early Alabama, and also the story of slavery and enslavement and the contributions that folks make, as well as the settlers who came here and the planters who created the town of Auburn.
Pebble Hill now serves as a historical museum for the community to take a deeper dive into the history of Auburn and understand why it's so special. And for Eagle Eye News, I'm Morgan Sims.
Students at Auburn University are constantly making impacts here on campus and throughout the community. But what you might not know is the difference they make overseas. Eagle Eye's Jillian Byers gives us a look at student initiatives abroad.
Not only do Auburn University students make an impact on the communities at home, but they also make impacts around the world. Students a part of the Joseph S. Bruno Study Abroad program are making a difference in the city of Aricia, Italy, which you can see behind me. These students are using this opportunity to immerse themselves into the Italian culture.
Aricia is a city 45 minutes outside of Rome, which is home to 18,000 people. Auburn students have the opportunity to live at the Chigi Palace in the heart of the city for a semester at a time. Here, they learn about the culture, history, and the language of Italy, as well as some of the challenges the community faces. The students of Auburn are trying to improve the city of Aricia with their Elevate Aricia projects. Their goal are to improve community engagement and interaction, as well as interest in the city from visitors. They have created social media accounts to bring in more traction and highlight small businesses. Auburn students also hope to improve overall quality of life by hosting community cleanup events, teaching children English at the middle schools, and volunteering at the local food pantry. Another project they are engaged in is collaborating with the local refugee center run by the Italian Red Cross called Mondo Migliore. This center is home to 750 people, including minors, who have fled dangerous situations in their home countries and are trying to rebuild their lives in Italy. For children, this experience is particularly difficult, so Auburn students want to contribute a sense of normalcy to their lives by providing fun games and events for them. Some of their events have included a Valentine's Day craft making party, a Mardi Gras parade, and a glow-in-the-dark party. These events give the refugee kids opportunities to feel like kids again, as well as teach them about traditions from other cultures.
Auburn students in Arica have a very positive impact, and Mondo children, because children don't have so many interacting with offside people. Impact is so very positive. We are talking about that every day, every time, and the baby is coming to ask a program next time when the students is coming to make an activity.
This experience has promoted a cross-cultural exchange between the students of JSV and the residents of Arica, as well as encouraged connections with the kids at the local refugee center. Jillian Byers, Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
After the break, Eagle Eye's Beauman Ivester has your weather outlook for this week on the Plains. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News. I'm Beauman Ivester, and I've got your weather outlook for this week on the Plains. Let's get into it. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 62 with a 15% chance of showers. Wednesday has a high of 82 and a low of 64, and it is currently forecasted to rain that day. Thursday will be partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 64, and Friday will be partly cloudy as well with a high of 85 and a low of 65. Now let's head on over into the weekend. This weekend will continue the partly cloudy trend with a high of 86 and a low of 64 on Saturday and a high of 88 and a low of 65 on Sunday. That's all I have for you tonight. Don't go anywhere because Alice and Ethan have a national news update for you all. From Eagle Eye News, I'm Beauman Ivester. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. This morning, the Vatican announced the death of Pope Francis. The 88-year-old pontiff died following a series of health challenges in recent years. The Pope continued to hold engagements, including on Easter Sunday, when he met briefly with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Francis gave the traditional Easter blessing from the balcony of St. Peter's, although an aide read it on his behalf. Pope Francis was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He was ordained as a priest in 1969, eventually becoming Archbishop of Buenos Aires. He was made a cardinal by Pope John Paul II and elected as Pope in 2013 after Pope Benedict retired. Francis was the first Jesuit Pope, the first Latin American Pope, and the first from the Americas. Throughout his clerical career, he was known for his humility. When he was an archbishop, he took the bus to work and cooked his own meals. As leader of the Catholic Church, he advocated heavily for immigrants, refugees, and the poor, and he showed a lighter touch than previous popes on social issues like gay marriage.
The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is accused of using a non-government app on his personal phone to share military plans with family members. That's the newest allegation involving the messaging app Signal. Sources say the discussion happened earlier this year, around the same time as a controversial group chat involving cabinet officials. Amy Kiley has more.
It's truly shocking.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is under fire once again for allegedly discussing military plans on a non-government messaging app. The resources confirm a group chat on Signal earlier this year included his brother, personal attorney, and spouse. The two men work for the Defense Department, but Hegseth's wife does not. Sources say he used his personal phone for the discussion ahead of strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. Signal is an encrypted app, but experts say military planning usually takes place in the Situation Room with as few people as possible.
It's putting the operation, those fighter pilots who are in the air about to conduct this operation, at risk with people that don't need to know this information.
The DoD Acting Inspector General is investigating another Signal group chat earlier this year that also involved the Yemen strikes. A journalist says he was accidentally invited to it along with cabinet members.
No matter what they will spin at this Pentagon, this stuff is classified, no doubt about it.
Experts say allies could be less likely to share intelligence with the U.S. if they're worried about security. They say another concern is espionage.
These types of signal chats, even if they happen in the United States, in the D.C. area, you can bet that the Russians and the Chinese are working very hard to intercept them.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The defense secretary is on the defense regarding his use of another Signal group chat to talk about classified military plans. Hegseth blasted some of his ex-advisors who have publicly made comments about him. That includes Hegseth's former press secretary, who says there is, quote, total chaos at the Pentagon. Hegseth added,
this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not gonna work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter.
Hegseth added that he is proud of the work the Trump administration has done thus far, and that he and President Donald Trump are, quote, on the same page all the way.
A several-week hearing got underway Monday in the last phase of an antitrust case against Google. It could lead to the breakup of the tech giant. A federal judge ruled last summer that Google had broken antitrust laws to keep its dominance in online search. In this hearing, the Justice Department and Google are presenting what they believe to be the proper market remedy. Among its proposals, the DOJ is proposing a breakup of the $1.8 trillion company. It's suggesting a spin-off of its Chrome web browser, which drives traffic to its search engine. And if the remedies do not bring back competition, the DOJ is proposing Google perhaps sell its Android operating system for smartphones. The DOJ told the judge he should ensure Google is not able to use its search monopoly to create a similar dominance in artificial intelligence. Google has previously told the judge not a lot needs to change. Google has said it will appeal the judge's ruling that it is a monopolist, but it must first wait until this final phase of the trial is completed. Stick around after the break for your Auburn sports update with Eagle Eye's Cohen Dalzell. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Cohen Dalzell, back to give you a recap on all of the big stories that happened in Auburn sports last week. Let's get right on into it. Number 8, Auburn traveled to Austin, Texas to take on the current best college baseball squad in the nation in a 3-game set this past weekend. The Longhorns took all 3 from the Tigers, dropping Auburn to number 11 in the most recent polls. Auburn scored 2 runs in the third to open up the scoring in the series opener off an Ike Irish home run. But Texas scored in the bottom of the 3rd, 6th, and finally the 7th to take a hard-fought Game 1 victory 3-2. Auburn fell again in Game 2 on Friday 8-3, with Ike Irish putting 2 over the wall to account for all 3 Tigers' runs. Game 3 started strong with Irish's 4th homer of the weekend, giving Auburn the lead, but 5 quick Longhorn runs in the bottom half silenced the Auburn side, who were run-ruled in 7 innings, 14-2. Auburn faces Georgia Tech tomorrow night before hosting Mississippi State this weekend for a 3-game SEC bout. Now on to softball. Auburn softball traveled to Rocky Top, Tennessee to take on the Lady Vols after a massive series win over Georgia last weekend. The Tigers failed to take even a game from the number 4 team in the country, being swept in the series. Buena Tambora pitched wonderfully in her Game 1 start, and eventually the Tigers scored the game's first runs in the 6th inning. However, the Lady Vols scored 2 in the bottom half to tie the game and hit a walk-off homer in the 7th to take Game 1 4-2. After falling behind in Game 2, 6-1 in the 2nd inning, Auburn fought their way back to try and bring it back with a run in the 4th and 2 in the 5th, falling just short of the comeback, 6-4. Auburn was held to just one hit until the 6th inning in Game 3, where they scored their lone run, falling 4-1. Auburn travels to South Alabama for a midweek contest tomorrow night before hosting 3 against South Carolina this weekend at Jane B. Moore Field. That is all I have for you tonight. When we come back, you'll get a business/consumer update from Alice and Ethan about a popular store facing backlash amidst their DEI rollback and a nonprofit hoping to do some good for Earth Day. I'm Cohen Dalzell for Eagle Eye Sports, and you are watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Dozens of Fortune 500 companies have recently backtracked on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in response to conservative court decisions, pressure from right-wing activists and legal groups, and more recently, the Trump administration. But none has seen as much backlash as Target. According to data from analytics firm Placer.ai, foot traffic at Target stores has declined for 10 consecutive weeks, and more than 200,000 people participated in a nationwide boycott of the retailer. Target reacted to the Trump administration's threats by announcing it was scaling back its DEI commitments. The major retailer said it would eliminate hiring goals for minority employees and an executive committee focused on racial justice and make other changes to its diversity initiatives. But previously, Target was a champion of diversity in hiring and in sourcing their products, and DEI supporters reacted with a fierce blowback, protesting Target's decision and some even calling the company's actions a betrayal.
A group of Colorado State University biomedical engineering students unveiled a customizable 3D printed prosthetic foot Friday. It was for a school event that showcases innovative yet practical student inventions. But as Amanda Gilbert shows us, the creation of the prosthetic foot is quite personal for one of the student developers.
During CSU's version of a science fair, it's all about wowing the judges with something that's innovative but also useful, something intricate but also affordable.
Decided on the Goldilocks foot because it fits just right, and then add one more zero.
Garrison Hayes and his biomedical engineering team built the Goldilocks foot.
Whereas we wanted to make something totally custom for the person, something that was a part of them.
The prosthetics are 3D printed.
All created using 3D imaging technology.
Garrison knows all too well the problem with prosthetics.
When I was 6 years old, I ended up undergoing an amputation to remove osteosarcoma, a bone cancer that was just above my knee.
He went on to have multiple surgeries. He then played soccer and did track growing up.
My ankle here acts like the knee joint. So when I have it in the socket like this, they bend and they straighten together in order to act like a joint, like a knee.
But no prosthetic fit just right.
Some of the prosthetics aren't nearly as comfortable. I would break through them and my parents would kind of have to scramble to try and keep me held together.
So Garrison made his own porridge.
And so we also created a fully 3D printed carbon fiber foot insert. Fully tested, I'm able to.
The team had their own model.
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
And test subject.
All I have to do is let them present, and I can just kind of stand here and wear the foot.
The Goldilocks.
And show it off.
Behind the Goldilocks foot.
Why are we still talking about them?
Let me just walk through it.
The team says their 3D printed foot costs less than other similar models, and it can be changed for size, shape, or use. One woman reached out to the team interested in a design that fits with heels.
Tuesday is Earth Day. It's a day to focus on environmental issues. Many communities will host conservation events to mark the day, with one nonprofit hoping to make the environment cleaner year-round. It's called the Buy Nothing Project. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains how it works and why it could save you money.
Millions of tons of waste end up in landfills every year in the U.S., according to the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA estimates Americans throw out about 5 pounds of trash every day, and that doesn't even include the garbage that ends up in our oceans.
We found that there were a lot of plastics washing ashore with every single high tide.
Liesl Clark was living in Bainbridge Island, Washington, when she noticed just how much trash was ending up on their shores and wanted to do something about it. In 2013, she and her friend Rebecca Rockefeller launched a local Facebook group where neighbors could reuse and share items.
Post here and say what you're going to the store to buy and see if your neighbor might have it.
It's called the Buy Nothing Project. Clark says it's grown to 12 million users in communities all over the world. Here's how it works. Communities create a private Buy Nothing Facebook group just for people who live in that area. That's where you can post items you no longer need, blenders, kids' rocking chairs, clothes, and see if one of your neighbors wants it, like this person who's giving away picture frames. If you're interested, you comment on the post and coordinate the exchange. Those items don't end up in the trash, and it helps a neighbor save money.
There is a power in togetherness and sharing.
You can also ask neighbors for items you're looking for, like this parent who wants a bike for her daughter. Multiple neighbors responding, offering their old bikes.
They're connecting with their neighbors. They come for the stuff. They stay for the community.
That community connection seen through posts like this one. A parent giving away this stroller that she says she received and enjoyed from this group and now wants to pay it forward. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
That's all we have for you tonight, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Alice Estes.
And I'm Ethan Clements. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.